Hey, this is Nicholas with the Backyard TARDIS here with another random discussion. This time I'm going to be talking about all the Sonic 30th celebrations. This was intended to be out last month, but as I mentioned in a previous update video, due to having gotten sick and losing my voice for a week, and then it just being over 100 degrees for the other weeks, it's still over 100 degrees, but at least it's not 115 and stuff like that. Crazy weather I'm not used to. Haven't been able to record in my van. I usually record like on my breaks in between jobs as I'm locksmithing, but I'm finally back at it, and I'm still doing that celebration. And but let's get into it because I really enjoyed this. I've got notes. So because I've had this time, I have probably seen the 30th Symphony uh, 6-8 times through. It's 2 hours, but I've watched it itself twice myself, and then I've watched multiple people react to it, and it is it. This is probably going to be my nerd highlight of the year. And I'm really big into sci-fi, but Sonic has always had a special place for me, and so seeing this, it's going to be an orchestral rendition of the Sonic things, and I knew that part, but they had a lot of surprises for me. So we start out with Sonic the Hedgehog. The first they do Sonic the Hedgehog 1 and then Sonic the Hedgehog 2 with the composer Mitsutu Nakamura. I'm probably going to butcher a lot of names, but that one I think I got. And they do almost all of Sonic 1. And everyone's like, wow, they don't have time. How many games are not going to get to? Well, it's the first game, so they give it its full thing. A standout for me was when they got to the first boss theme. And you've got this huge orchestra doing it. Oh man, it hits you, the dread of that initial. Then it went into Sonic 2. That is my big Sonic game. So there were a lot of standout ones there for me. Emerald Hill was beautiful. Chemical Plant Zone. Casino Night was really jazzy. I loved that. Now here's where they get really creative though. You go, okay, they're gonna do Sonic CD, and which they didn't do a lot of Sonic CD. And then they're gonna go do Sonic 3, and then we're gonna probably jump to Sonic Adventure or something like that. They go, no, next comes up the Game Gear melody. And the composer for that was Yusio Kirishio. And this is crazy. There's stuff from Sonic 1 and Sonic 2 on the Game Gear, Sonic Triple Trouble, but then they do Rainy Savannah from Sonic Drift 2. Yeah, the 8-bit driving game on the Game Gear got mentioned. And then Polyforce from Tails Adventure, a Tails exclusive spin-off game, very breaks out of the formula. It got on here, and then it was like, okay, they're going to be doing a lot of deep cuts, a lot of cool stuff. So we're ready for that. And then they go into the Sonic 3 and Knuckles melody, so they combine the two games. And it says composer Sega. Now this is interesting because they recently announced that they're going to do a collection with Sonic 3 and Knuckles on it. And one of the things that around the time Michael Jackson allegedly, pretty much guaranteed, worked with the composers. He had been a big fan of the Genesis when it first came out, the music it could do. And then, of course, it's reported that he didn't want his name put on it because of, the Super Nintendo was out at that point, and the Super Nintendo reportedly, had a better sound mixer. The Genesis was so revolutionary when it came out, but then a couple years later when the Super Nintendo came out, it could do a lot more melody, less chiptune music. And but there's also rumors that it was Sega who didn't want to mention him because of all the allegations against him. And so he's kind of gone uncredited for that. And then after his death, Sega had no problem with this music until after his death. And then the family seems to be contesting legally Sega's use of the music. So everyone's wondering, well, what are they going to do when they're reporting that new game? Are they going to redo it? So everyone's excited, like, are they going to just skip over it in this? Are they going to actually show us maybe what we're going to get? Some remasters? And it says Composer Sega. And then they do the levels that they've had ported in like Sonic Generations and stuff that wasn't part of what Michael had a hand in. So like the main title theme, Angel Island, Sky Sentry Zone, or at least I think he didn't have a part in, because it seems like those seem to be the stuff that Sega's been willing to put out there since this whole debacle. So that question was not answered here. Very, very small amount. No ice cap zone, no hydrosity. So there was some bummer there. And while they're doing this, there's this big orchestra, and the whole time there's gameplay of these games on a giant screen behind them. And it's just amazing. And there'll be more about that at the end of this. They went from there. They're going more in chronological order because they go to Sonic Mania Melody next with composer T-Lopes. So here's the amazing thing about Sonic Mania. Sonic Mania is a game made by the fans. They culled people from the fans, and one of them was T-Lopes. So this is a guy who was doing remixes of the old game music on like YouTube and stuff, and they got him on this team to make a brand new original music for this game. And so we saw the main title theme, Studio Appa's Zone, Press Garden Zone, and Tiny Monarch Zone. We're done there. And so that was really good to see that game get some good coverage. Then they went into the Sega Saturn melody, which the Sega Saturn probably has the least amount of Sonic games on a Sega system since Sonic came out. And actually probably even less than the system that was from before Sonic came out, because they ported a bunch of the 8-bit Game Gear games back to the Master System. So what are they going to do there? Well, you got Sonic R, and a lot of people probably would have expected that just to be the whole melody. Can You Feel the Sunshine? Always beautiful. Going back to T-Lopes, I wish when we get later to the vocal part of this, T-Lopes did a version of this. I really wish they would have included that in this live presentation, but that's a minor nitpick. There's tons of things I wish they could have done, but of course, it would have been like 4 hours long if they'd done everything I'd want. And I don't know the attention span of today if we could have got that. Now, they also did Supersonic Racing from that. But then they went and they did Sonic Jam. Now, Sonic Jam is just a collection disc, but it had kind of like this demo of what a 3D game could be like for Sonic. And so they took the overworld music of that, and then they did Knights music. Now, Knights is a game also made by Sonic Team. How does it qualify? Well, in the DLC Christmas Nights, you could unlock Sonic and play as Sonic or Supersonic, kind of going through the Knights world. And so the music from that is what they displayed. So that was really cool. And then they kind of switch over. Now they're going to go on to some of the more modern Dreamcast era stuff, but we're still with the orchestra here. So there was Believe in Myself and It Doesn't Matter, the two main theme of Sonic Adventure, and the main theme is Sonic in that game. The composer was Jun Senoway. So Jun Senoway, he is the rock star of Sonic music. He is one of the main guitarists from the Dreamcast era on. Everything was guitarist, and this guy, to the Sonic community, he is a rock star, and he lives like a rock star. He goes out there with his electric guitar that's got Sonic on it. He has 4 or 5 different Sonic guitars, and he switches them out between songs. Really good. But this is an orchestra melody of this, and it's composed by him. So that was interesting. Then they went into the Sonic 06 melody. Now, Sonic 06, everyone was like really shocked that they would even bring this up, because Sega tries to treat that like the ugly stepchild. However, the one really good thing about Sonic 06 was the music. And the composers were Tomoya Atani. I hope I'm not butchering that, because his name is going to come up a lot. And Mikuro Natiba. I'm really sure I'm butchering that one. A standout one for me was the His World really like that song. Good. And of course, like the main title theme. Dun, 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 dun. It just, it hits. It hits good. And it does. And that game already had a very orchestral feel, so it really went with that. Then they went on to the Sonic Unleashed melody, and that was kind of them trying to break away from the rock music and them kind of trying to do different cultural music around the world when that game came out. So once again, Tomoya Atani was the composer, as well as it's me. Always going to have that background noise. Kenichi Tokoi. And real standout ones for me were Rooftop Run and Dragon Road. Very beautiful music and good to see it in orchestra. And then they did Sonic Lost World melody. Once again, Tomoya there. And then they did the Sonic Forces melody, also by Tomoya. And this is another game that isn't that great, but had amazing music. And of course, they did Fist Bump and Infinite. Two songs I like a lot. Like Fist Bump is really gets you pumped. Infinite is the most emo song. It was weird seeing this in the orchestra portion of the show. Because I don't know if it works that well as orchestra. However, Forces had a lot of like K-pop type stuff that I kind of wish we would have seen. Then we get the Sonic Colors melody. And a lot of people thought, wow, they skipped over Colors. Well, because Colors is getting a new port, they end with that. And the Sonic Colors was composed by Kenichi Tokoi and Fumi Kumintai and Tomoya again. Once again, probably butchering all these names, these Japanese names, but Tomoya, I know. And they had, of course, the main theme of Colors, the Aquarium Park, Tropical Resort, Planet Wisp. These were some of my standout ones. There were, of course, more. They pretty much did 90% of the game, kind of bookending it as like this is kind of the next game coming out, and Sonic the Hedgehog was the first, so this is the bookend. They kind of did those two as the full games. Then we had an intermission with the Chow Garden. So we see the Chow Garden on the thing, and just kind of that peaceful music, and the Chow's making things real beautiful. I really enjoyed that. Then we get in the middle of that intermission, we get a message from Misato Nakamura. Misato Nakamura. Let's get that one right. He's an important one. He composed Sonic 1 and 2. He did all the music for that back in the original games, and really made what the sound of Sonic was. Everybody who's mimicking it came after that, really based on that foundation. And what I found really interesting is his presentation. Like, he spoke English, and he's like, "Hey, it's me, Matsuo Nakamura. I'm the creator, composer of Sonic 1 and 2. And you know, he's really getting in there, and he's talking about it, and people come up to me and tell me how much I influenced their life, and you know, he's really just fun and having fun, and like you could tell this whole event is a blast for him. But he says that his band, because he has a band, Dreams Come True, is going to be releasing a vocal single of Green Hill Zone. So they're going to add lyrics to that. This is something that I, of course, would have loved to have been part of the program. Once again, they packed in so much good. Can't complain, but you always want more. So now, after the intermission, we go to the vocal section. And this starts out with a real treat to me with the Tomoya Itani Band. So we've been hearing his name a lot. He composed a lot of the music during the orchestral, but he has a band. And Susumu Nishikawa, well, Susumu is on the guitar, and Shoko Nisaki on the keyboard. This young girl was amazing. Like, her fingers were moving at sonic speed, and she was just smiling. Oh, man, I was watching her more than I was the Becky. Like, she was really rocking it hard. She's gonna have arthritis by the time she's 40. She's like really working hard at that. Really impressed. And then, of course, Masudo on drums, and Tomoya himself was the bass. And they start out, once again talking about bookending. The orchestral ended with colors, so this one begins with colors, and it does the Reach for the Stars, the main Sonic Colors theme, and then Speak with Your Heart from Sonic Colors. And then they go on to Endless Possibilities from all of a sudden my mind went blank. But anyways, Endless Possibilities. And this is really special to me. All of a sudden, you hear the voice and you're like, who's doing the music? It's not the original guy, but it sounds really close. Who's doing this? And then they say, Nathan Sharp, Nate wants to battle. Once again, this is not somebody who works for Sega. This is somebody who has an account that does cover songs of like anime and cartoon intros and different music, including Sonic games music. And it just really, he's doing this Sonic Unleashed classic, Endless Possibilities, the main theme there. And then he just comes in and it's like, wow, this guy's perfect at it. He already impressed me. And they've got him on camera and he's just good. But then a lot of Sonic fans, they're wondering, okay, they're doing vocals. Where's Crush 40? So Crush 40 comes out and, we see Johnny Gavelli. He comes out, and he's, once again, the composers, Jun Senoway, doing that, and but Johnny comes out and he's doing Open Your Heart, and the whole Crush 40 was like the idea that they started a band late in life and they were going to crush 40, so they were approaching 40, and this is back in 99, so I don't know exactly how old he is, but he still looks young, and boy does he still bring it, and he is so animated as he sings. They go on from there. They do most of the hits. They do Sonic Heroes, Green Light Ride from Team Sonic Racing, so their newest one. Sonic Boom, they did a cover of the Sonic CD game. So finally, Sonic CD is getting some coverage. A lot of people were upset that nothing was in the melody portion, but they do Sonic Boom there. All of Me, he brings out what's his favorite, Night of the Wind from Sonic and the Black Knight. Once again, another not so great Sonic game, but awesome music. That's the one thing about Sonic. Even when the games are bad, usually the music is great. And then, they're going through all these, and they haven't done a couple of notable ones. But you're like, okay, they can't do every one that they've ever done because they have their own concerts that last 2 hours. So they're not going to get to them all. But he goes, hey, do you want one more? And then the words are like, do you want one more? And, he's asking everybody to cheer, and he says, okay. And then they do Escape from the City. And you're kind of like, everyone's thinking to themselves, they're going to do Live and Learn. Live and Learn's their biggest one. Now, it's not everybody's favorite one. Some people like different ones, like Metal Overlord better or whatever. But Live and Learn is probably Crush 40's most famous song. And so when Escape from the City comes up, everyone's kind of, that's your last song? And we're thinking, Crush 40 doesn't even do the vocals for that song. Jun does compose the music, but usually that one's not when they perform. And Nate Wants to Battle comes out. So you've got Crush 40 playing with Nate Wants to Battle doing the vocals. What a dream team mashup. It was great, amazing. And then that goes through and you're like, wow, they really ended on that though. They didn't do Live and Learn. How could they have not done Live and Learn? Like, that is the one every Sonic fan convention that Crush 40 ever goes to, like, that is always the closer. And then the end of the Sonic Adventure 2, where it has Hero's story and that, and it pops, and you know, one side is like they show the orchestra is Hero, the dark is like the Crush 40 and the bands for the vocals, and then it pops up, and there's Johnny in the center on the last, and he's like, want to thank everybody for coming out. We know that. He just, you know, really telling it, and he's like, you know how we end it, and they go together and they do Live and Learn, Crush 40, you know, the as Sonic fandom calls it, the butt rock, the speed metal type music, you know, and he's out there screaming it, and then the orchestra kicks in. The orchestra kicks in to it, so it's that and the orchestra, and I gotta tell you, I was in Home Depot, because I was working when this broadcast live, so I'm listening to it live, like pulling out my phone whenever I can, looking at it. I had to sing along. I mean, live and learn. It's just I love this song. This is, if you were a Sonic fan during the Dreamcast days, this song was epic. This song was like this huge boss battle, and seeing it all combined together, it really touched me. What an amazing way to end it, to combine the two, and the reference to Sonic Adventure 2, with the when the two stories pop out in the after you complete the game, and then the mysterious last story appears and all that, and to have this where it's combining of the good guys and the bad guys type thing, and it's combining of the orchestra and the kind of the rock vocals. It was so cool, so cool. It's one of those things that to me, this is the kind of stuff that I really appreciate, that Sega does this kind of stuff. They know their fandom, and part of why that is because the producers were Katie Krzyzwanski, I didn't even know that was her last name, and Aaron Weber. So over at the Sonic social media team, they're fans who have gone to work for Sega and manage their social media team. So they're the ones producing this, putting this together, and it shows. On rewatch though of this last one, it was at this moment that I got to thinking, you know, most of the guys in the orchestra, because when I've seen like Nintendo do that, they have like orchestras that are younger. Sometimes they're even Japanese orchestras, and you know, they're kind of younger guys, and they're talking about how much Nintendo affects them. Now Sonic is something from '91, so he's only 30 years old, and a lot of these guys in the orchestra look like they're the youngest look like maybe in their 50s, but most of these people look like they're in their 60s and 70s in this orchestra. Real professional, really skilled, really beautiful. But I got to wondering, you know, like, for them, did this have the same meaning? Like, for the rock band people, you know, like, they were like jamming out, like, yeah, this is cool, but like, they're seeing this guy like just singing these rock songs, and they're doing that, and they're playing this game, and there's game footage behind them, like, you know, these people who are these masters at Symphony, and they've been hired for them. Is this like a low end job? Is this like if I dedicated my life to learning an instrument, and in 30 years from now I found myself performing Paw Patrol? I mean, I don't know. That thought crossed my mind, made me laugh. But kudos to them, thank you to them, because they did an amazing job. Now, the gameplay capture through this. Now, everyone's like, oh yeah, Sega just, you know, they can clip any game anytime, they can do that. As if that just happens. No. Katie, from the social media team, she brought out, they had to painstakingly go in and capture this. This is why sometimes you see Sonic losing and stuff. You see the Chow Garden stuff. She said, I wanted to get certain things in that Chow Garden, so she spent hours, days even, playing Sonic Adventure 2 to fill out that Chow Garden so she could have that stuff. But she had some help. In addition to Katie, there was in Muchler Sam Solution, which I know is Sam Procrastination, big Sonic YouTuber, Justin Thorman, Matt Meemer, the original creator of Tales channel, worked for Sega for a little bit, big, huge person in the community, and Emmy Jones. She also does a lot of vocals. Would have loved to see her do a song here. But it was amazing that they got the community to put that together, the gameplay footage of all these different games. And I would have loved, things that if I could have had everything I wanted, I would have wanted more Sonic 3 and Knuckles. I would have wanted more Sonic CD. I would have wanted some of the additional music from the Sonic Adventure games for the other characters. I would have loved I Am the Eggman. And maybe the Knuckles rap. Let's put in one of those. Let's get some of the crazy stuff that came out of that stuff. I would have liked Emmy Jones to do Tails' main theme from the Sonic Adventure games, because she has a good cover of that. More fan generation. So the ending was so good, combining them together. I would have liked to have seen somehow Nate Wants to Battle join in on that. I would have liked to have seen Tomoya and his band just be part of it. They don't have to be on the vocals, but if they could just be out there, I could figure that maybe they can't get Nate to be on that. He might not be able to have the voice for it to be backup singer for that, but just bringing everything together. I would have liked more of the newer handheld games like Sonic Rush, Sonic Advance, that stuff, to have some representation like they did for the Game Gear. So those are just some of the things that I would have loved to have seen. But I can't complain. This is an amazing performance. So now, just a couple of other little things. Sonic Revolution 2021 happened. Now, Sonic Boom was an event that used to be held in Southern California. It was a Sega event, Sonic convention. And then they kind of moved it. And the local people were like, no, we're still going to have a Sonic convention. And they put on their own Sonic Revolution. They get they fly out the guest things and different ones to come and be there. I was supposed to go to one in 2019, and circumstances around the date I couldn't, but I had kind of told myself I was going to go, and then 2020 it didn't happen. 2021 they're doing it digitally. There were some awesome panels. Panel with Tyson Hess and getting a lot of the background information on him. And also, things you shouldn't harass the guy about. Kind of went into that. Sonic and Tails R by Emmy Jones on her channel. She's doing this audio drama, and she's getting past voice actors, plus the current voice actor for Dr. Eggman, but just coming in and doing that. And they've got two different Sonic voice actors. They got Ryan Drummond, the original Dreamcast voice actor, doing Sonic. But then they got the second one doing the voice of Shadow, because he also did Shadow in the Sonic 06 time period. So he comes in and he voices Shadow. So the first time they're getting to voice act together on a show like this. Just kind of a nice audio drama. And so that we got a lot of the behind the scenes funny things. They actually completely edited an episode that was supposed to be launching on a specific date that they had announced. And within 48 hours before that, the computer crashed and they lost it. And they had all the assets because everybody else submitted them to them, so they could do that, but they had to re-edit it, something that took days in that short period of time. Interesting stories like that. The IDW panel. This was really good. Hearing Ian and Flynn and Evan Stanley talk about the differences of running the book and what they got going forward. Really good. I'm going to be reviewing an IDW book this weekend. So then they had the Sonic Boom Crew panel. And this was really good, really funny. I really loved Sonic Boom. Unfortunately, the game wasn't good. It put such a black mark on this franchise that Sonic Boom, Cartoon Network was like, oh no, Sonic Boom is hot garbage. No, we're going to put it on Boomerang, and we're going to put it at the worst time slot possible, because we're going to have Teen Titans Go play all throughout primetime, reruns of that. And it just didn't get views. 2 seasons got canceled. Really hope that Hulu, like, that's where it's at. Go watch it. But they talked about some ones that they didn't do. And they had mentioned that they had thought about doing one that was about a wall around Gogoba Village, which Gogoba's annoying characters. They were going to put a wall around them, kind of making light of all the political stuff going on. And they thought, well, by the time we get the animation done and all that, like, that won't even be a thing anymore. And this is very beginning, before Trump was president. And they're like, wow, that discussion, that joke would have lasted. Then you had the Sage panel, Sage getting to see what the community does in the game making of the fan games and hacking. That was kind of interesting, seeing some of the behind the scenes on that. Then they had the Sonic Legacy panel. This is a fan comic, really good, interesting. Kind of just talking about how that all came into existence. They had the cosplay contest in the raffle. There's a reason why they added that, because there was like 6 people that did the cosplay. I want to know why Sonic the cosplayer didn't do a submission, because it was online. He didn't have to physically go there. He's got thousands of things. Was it just that he didn't want to take it from somebody else, because he could have stopped? But then other things that and there were other panels, but those were the main ones that interest me. Then the Sonic social media team, they have their streams that they have every couple of weeks, and so they did one and talked a lot about the Symphony and the work that went into it and stories about that. And they also talked about some more merch that's coming out, the new there's just a lot of amazing stuff, new pins, and lots of cool stuff that unfortunately my wallet's not big enough to buy all this stuff. But definitely, go check that out. If you were a fan of all this, check that out, because that kind of was like the behind the scenes stuff of that. And then during, after E3, I don't know why it didn't come out during E3, but after E3, we started to get footage of the Sonic Colors Ultimate, finally getting evidence and trailers that actually show us why this is Ultimate. They're showing off the features that they're talking about are new features, like the racing against metal, the tail save. The tail save is not what everybody thought it was at first. One, it's something you have to earn. It's not something you just get. And it's still just to kind of pick you up, kind of like Mario Kart type thing. But it's not like an instant, like your level doesn't progress. It's still almost the same as losing a life. But, just a different things they're showing off there, and showing true HD graphics. That's my biggest complaint, is when they did that announcement, they were using the non-high definition Wii graphics to talk about how it was definition. Everybody thought it looked worse than the original game. It was the original game. So I always thought that was funny that people were getting upset. But now people are looking at different things on it. But seeing that is finally, getting me hyped for the game. I liked Sonic Colors, so I'm really looking forward to having that on my Switch. Because I rarely ever dust the Wii off. And my Wii U, my 3-year-old at the time decided to crack some eggs over my Wii U. For whatever reason, she climbed up onto the kitchen counter and did that. And dropped eggs down on it, and the thing caught on fire. So I don't have a Wii U anymore. So I would like to have that on an accessible console that I have that isn't in storage. So really excited about that and getting the best version of it. Anyways, this Symphony was amazing. It's cool. I love it when video game companies do stuff like this. Really show that they are art, and show that off and celebrate it. I think we should do more of this in the video game community, especially with some of these older retro games that are still around, still kicking today. Love to see that. Anyways, did you guys catch the Symphony? If not, I'm going to put a link down in the description to it so you can go watch it if you want. If it's not necessarily your thing, you don't want to sit there for 2 hours, skip around. Because like I said, the stuff you're going to get at the beginning and the stuff in the second half, completely different. So skip around, get different feels of different sonic music, and check it out. All right, with that, everybody have a good day, and I'll see you in the next video.